This is Jimmy Allen, and you're listening to World of Mud.
Since we haven't heard from you in a long, long, long time, how are you doing, Rockstar Jimmy?
I'm great. Everything's awesome. All healthy around here. Been on lockdown, but now we're out, no masks.
That's good. So nobody caught the virus?
I knew a few people that caught it, but they kind of just said it was kind of like a bad hangover.
That's funny.
All the animals, and we're all healthy around here. It's been pretty good to, get out and get healthy and, run around, and, it's been good.
Yeah, I'm outside every day going to work and stuff.
Yeah, so how's the virus there? Is everything okay with you guys? How's your mom and dad, your brother? They're all good?
Yeah, nobody caught the virus, and obviously
Great.
my parents wanted to get the vaccine, so they went and got it, and no side effects for them, strangely.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I think it's good too, because they're better nothing happens to them, because they provide our lunch most of the time.
Yeah. You have parents, but yeah, it's great to have your parents. That's a lot of things. During this lockdown, I think a lot of people got to hang out with their family a lot more. Some people got to actually, be around their family.
What do you think about the whole virus situation and the situation with politics?
Yeah, it's kind of been kind of weird because I lost a lot of friends off of Facebook. I got kicked off Facebook for speaking my mind, which I've always been that way. I've always spoke my mind about stuff. I just think it's kind of crazy that people that don't agree with other people can't get along. So it's like I've had a lot of friends that I thought were friends, or just kind of turned their backs on me because I kind of spoke out against stuff. Now it's starting to come out, with all this, Fauci's emails and stuff. I don't know if you've heard about it there in Germany.
But his emails have been, and it's kind of what people have been saying all along, that everything's been overhyped about this virus, and people have kind of listened to the media and got freaked out about everything, and it's kind of a weird deal. It's like I'm just one guy, so I just love guitar and love animals, and so I can't worry about viruses. I'm not a scientist, and I don't know if I trust science too much. The way I see it with that is that with the jab, with the vaccine thing, I see that you're healthy. If you're healthy and young, you kind of pretty much don't need to worry about it. I think Joe Rogan brought that up on his podcast, where he was saying, if you're young and healthy, you don't really have to worry about that stuff. But I can understand older people being, more susceptible to viruses and stuff like that. If they want to get the vaccine, that's fine. But it's a no-go for me. I've already done enough drugs and alcohol in my younger days that if that didn't kill me, then I don't know if the Corona thing's gonna do any damage.
Yeah, you probably drank a lot of Coronas.
Yeah, I did. A Corona was one of my favorites.
That's funny.
I see them now and I drool, but at least I'm not drinking them.
So you liked the November picture I made in the calendar?
Yeah, it's great. That's great. Yeah,
Everyone with masks.
The whole calendar was really cool, Mags. It was really cool. It made our day when it came to the post office, or to our mailbox. We were really happy. Thank you very much. That was awesome. We love you for that.
You're very welcome. You founded some of the coolest rock bands ever in this world: Puddle of Mud, Against Our Will, and Cooker. What are your most memorable moments with each of those bands?
Oh wow, good question. Well, with Puddle of Mud, in the younger years, we had some really awesome shows. I mean, we got to open up for a lot of these bands like Quiet Riot and Warrant and Triumph and all these bands that were kind of '80s bands. So that was really cool. It was really memorable during that time when we first started, and we got to open up for a lot of people. It was really, with Puddle of Mud, that I think back, those were some of the greatest shows ever. But then the really pinnacle Puddle of Mud show for me would have been in 2000, I think going into 2005, I think, for playing Times Square on New Year's Eve.
Oh yes, New Year's Eve show. I still want to see the videos.
Yeah, I have the videos somewhere on a hard drive. I need to find that, and I haven't really seen anybody post in that. It's weird. It was on ESPN. It was on national TV. But I haven't seen any videos. Have you seen
Nobody recorded it. I noticed that like between 2004 or 5 and 2011, there was literally no Puddle of Mud videos.
Huh. Yeah, it might have been that time when technology was kind of a little weird in the phones. The phones kind of we switched over to those iPhones, and then everybody was videoing everything. You can see anything now.
Oh yeah, I do that all the time. I mean, when I go to concerts, I'm always.
You're that person.
Yeah, but most of the time I'm lucky and West says okay.
So you can watch by the by the side of the stage or whatever.
No, usually just front row.
Oh, okay, that's awesome.
I'll just fight my way through.
Yeah, no, you don't know that.
Because I usually also make big signs like "Welcome back" or "Puddle of Mud rocks" or something, and I just hold them up, and that always makes him smile.
You're the number one fan. But on Against All Will, there were some great shows that we did too. We played up in the Syracuse at the 93X Festival or whatever up in Syracuse, and it was a great show. I think we played with like Dickie Betts from the Allman Brothers. Who else did we play with? Well, we played with a couple other bands, but it was a good festival for Against All Will. And for Cooker, the best experience was probably Troy and I, having we had a practice space down in Westport or whatever, and we got to, kind of put that record together. That was probably my favorite thing about Cooker. That sums it up with those three bands, at least for a little bit, but
Yeah, I love those CDs. I love the Cooker CD, and I love the Against All Will CD, especially the song "Swept Away."
Yeah, that was one of my favorites. Right, and "Swept Away" was really a good time.
It's pulling me down. Can you give me your hand? I'm slipping away. There's too much water under the bridge. There's too much water under the bridge. There's too much water under the bridge. It feels like I'm being swept away. There's too much water under the bridge. It feels like I'm being swept away. Something's wrong inside my head today. Hey.
I wrote it with Mizzy, one of our old singers from Against All Will, and we wrote that, and I think it was in North Hollywood. I want to say North Hollywood. We wrote that one, and it was raining out. That's why we came up with the way. It was really raining, and it never really rains in California.
Yeah, it never rains in Southern California.
Yeah, so we basically wrote "Swept Away" when it was like pouring. It was a torrential rain. Me and Mizzy wrote that one, and at one of the parts you can barely hear it on when we recorded it. We put some rain like underneath some of the part. It's in the middle part, I think. I want to say it's in the bridge, and there's kind of rain in there. You can barely kind of hear it, but it's in there.
So, apart from playing in awesome bands, he also collaborated with a lot of different artists on lots of different songs. Name 3 of your favorite artists you've worked with.
Biff Naked for sure, Canadian artist Biff Naked. I have a few songs on her record, and she was really fun to work with. We went down to Vancouver and we did most of the recording in Vancouver at Heart Studio. I think it's called Mushroom Studios. Mushroom Studios. I think it was Heart Studio, and then the guy for Marcy Playground bought bought it, and I think it's Mushroom Studios, but it was a cool thing. I've worked with Buck Cherry; those guys were really fun to work with. There's been a few other bands that I've worked with. I worked with Twist Face. That's a good project. You probably heard some of the Twist Face, you know.
Oh yeah, I did.
Those guys survive. They survive on whiskey and cocaine.
Next topic, guitars.
Oh yeah, what do you want to know?
Yeah, I've heard you have a gigantic collection of over 70 guitars, maybe closer to 100 guitars even. But is there any guitar that's your absolute favorite?
Yeah, the German guitars. You know, you're from your homeland there, Mags. Nick Huber's. I've got a few Nick Hubers. I really love those German-made guitars. And some Gibson Les Pauls I really dig. I mean, I kind of use guitars for different parts of stuff, more differently tonally and stuff like that. Um, I've been really digging this Gibson, this vintage guitar I got here. I really love it. I've been kind of writing on it. Can you hear that good?
Yeah, hear it?
It's really got a really good tone, but it's a vintage J45 from Gibson. I've been digging that. I've been writing a lot of stuff with that, but I dig it.
Yeah, it sounds awesome.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, but no, I'm afraid to count how many guitars I have. I know I have quite a collection that, you know, when people come over that they get to gawk at, and you know, I've used a lot of stuff that you know, haven't broke out for a few years. So there's a lot of stuff like when I instead of buying a new guitar sometimes, which is hard because you look at on the internet and you're like seeing all these cool guitars, and you're kind of hard to, you know. So instead of that doing that, I'll just go down in my guitar closet and I'll pull out one I haven't had for a couple years and be like, oh wow, it's like I just got a new guitar. So just trick myself a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I have to come and count someday.
Yeah, that's that a friend of mine was over the other day and he was like, man, you have guitars in every room. And I do. I think, you know, if inspiration hits me, I don't have them in the bathroom, I guess.
Why not?
Maybe that, man, I should probably put one in there. You never know.
Yeah. I saw a picture of your latest Nick Huber guitar, the new one that you recently got.
Uh-huh.
What's special about those German guitars?
I just think that the quality of wood and craftsmanship, I think Nick and Clements and the whole new Nick Huber factory, I think they're really detailed on playability and tone woods and just the nicer stuff. You know, they're they're phenomenal to play on, but they're exquisite to look at. It's a beautiful instrument. It really is. He really takes the time and craftsmanship and, you know, really detailed on little things that are really cool about that. You know, I've really fascinated on how the way he puts his neck joint together, and it's a great instrument, just a fabulous instrument. You should go there since you're in that area sometime when everything's opened up. You should go see the factory. I'm sure it's pretty amazing. I haven't been there.
Any idea what city it is in?
I could look for you.
Yeah, you could ask him maybe.
Yeah, I've met him at NAMM at the NAMM show in California.
Yeah,
I've hung out with him.
I still have a picture of that.
Oh yeah. He had some great guitars there. They were really cool. I was supposed to do a little video thing for him for the website. I think we did it, but I haven't seen anything of it.
No, I didn't see anything either.
Okay. Yeah, I know I'm on their website for something. I don't know.
I definitely know there's like a picture with you and him somewhere. I don't know if it's on his website or on yours,
Okay.
but it's definitely from that NAMM show, and there were a lot of guitars and everything too.
Yeah, there was some beautiful guitars there.
I can imagine.
Uh,
How does it feel to turn on the radio nowadays and hear songs like Drift and Die and She Hates Me and Blurry? Songs that you guys wrote almost 30 years ago.
but it's a pretty good feeling. I mean, you gotta love it. I mean, the other day I heard Drift and Die here in Kansas City. I turned on the radio and it was like a time when usually, it's like I wouldn't be in my car, going somewhere, and it came on, and I thought about it, and it's like, because in Kansas City we're pretty much the biggest band that's kind of came out of Kansas City, which kind of surprises me. It's kind of one of those things where it's like I thought, after 30 years there'd be some kids coming up that would be as popular as Puddle of Mud, but obviously not.
So you like that feeling, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's the songs are my babies. It's like, I kind of I'll turn it up. I hear it and I turn it up. It's like, even if I don't want to listen to music at that time, it's like I crank it and I'm like, yeah. And I just think about, everybody that, the whole band, would have never happened without everybody. Kenny, Troy, Sean, Big Dave, the whole band wouldn't have. Wes carried the name and carried everything on, and he's been true to it. He's basically, you know, he's been the torchbearer for everything, and it hasn't been easy, as we've all seen. It's kind of, he had his struggles, and I think he's coming out of that, and he's having more time with his family, and kind of, his sister's doing the videos. So I think it's a good thing, that Wes has really worked really hard. Got to say happy birthday to Wes. It's coming up, right?
Yeah,
Wes's birthday. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on June 9th.
Yeah. Happy birthday. God bless you, buddy.
Yeah, here's a picture where I met him.
Oh, that's an awesome picture. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was backstage at a sound check in Austria.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was so awesome to meet him, and like I've met him like 26 times in 31 concerts.
Jeez, you are a super fan. Write a
I
book.
tried my best.
You should write a book.
Oh yeah. But I still would have to talk to like everyone.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they are even up to. I mean, I saw Sean is doing something with a new band called the Fuck Yes
Oh, okay, great.
in Florida, of course. And I don't know if Kenny is doing anything musically, but I do know that he likes the drumsticks that I sent him like last year.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think you sent me a picture of those. That was an awesome gift. I'm sure he appreciated that. That's cool, Mags. Yeah, and then I know Troy's producing the new Twist Face record. I know I've heard that. And then
I've seen like a little preview video, but that vanished like as fast from Facebook as it was posted.
okay. Yeah, I'm not allowed on Facebook. They kicked me off.
You should come back. People miss you.
I miss them too. It's one thing. It's like, yeah, I maybe sometimes I was a little bit of an asshole on there, but it was only in love that I was that asshole. But yeah, I'm not really. The social media thing it's a double-edged sword, really. It's kind of a weird deal. It's kind of like I really haven't been on it, and I feel a lot better now. I'm not, but I miss talking to people that were positive and, uplifting. I miss talking to you and everybody, all the fans and, friends I had on there. But I had a lot of people that were my friends or people that I knew in bands and stuff kind of, turn on me on the whole thing. So the social media thing is kind of weird to me. I'd rather just kind of be the music guy and not have to worry about the details. I'm on Instagram, Jimmy Allen Songwriter. You're on my Instagram.
I know, but I'm following that.
Yeah, and it's a little more. It's the same same kind of thing, but I'm not really into, I'm just not into the whole social media thing. I'm the kind of guy I want to be out in the trees in the wilderness.
Yeah, I can imagine. And playing guitar there.
Yeah, well, yeah, the music is different, It's the whole, I don't know, the whole art of music is a different thing. I hope it makes a comeback. It's been kind of weird lately.
Yeah, well, at the moment, nobody here can play anywhere because there's like no way to put up a concert because nothing is allowed.
Uh-huh. That's the thing that would be hard during these times is also, you got to think as a, you know, you got to be able to think as somebody that's out there playing and stuff. And it's like, yeah, you don't want anybody to get sick, but also you want to get out there and play. So I see bands are making a comeback around here, around the U.S. Florida has been really good. I think they've
Oh,
been doing it. Yeah, so I think it'll come back. It's just going to take some time, but it's really been weird. It's like, I don't know.
yeah, but as a fan, from a fan point of view, it's like very boring to not have any concerts. I mean, I was lucky. I saw one just one day before my birthday, the local singer doing cover songs and stuff,
Uh,
and like classic rock cover songs, and he does awesome work. And so I went to see it with Roger, but basically it was supposed to be a drive-in show, so technically only cars were allowed, and ideally also with a COVID test, but nobody took that test, and there were like only 3 cars, and like a lot of people that came there on foot or by bikes like we did.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, so it's pretty locked down there still.
Yeah, it seems so. I mean, my work hasn't shut down, but everything else has.
Wow.
I,
Yeah,
I mean, you can't even buy clothes or shoes without a negative COVID test, and I'm not taking the test.
yeah. I mean, it's kind of weird that they just all of a sudden, within a few years, have decided that we can clamp down on what people do. And it's kind of like, it's very, I don't know, the whole thing has been really hard on people, so it's like that, like you're talking about, like fans that work all the time, they want to get out and they want to see a live band. They
Yeah,
want to,
exactly. That's what they are looking forward to during the year, and what helps them get through a year to begin with.
yeah, yeah, totally. And that's your outlet. That's what gets you to be able to go to work. And a lot of people I've been talking to have been missing that. So it's really sad that
Yeah, I
it's like,
mean, I haven't seen Puddle of Mud since like July 2019.
wow. Yeah, I think I think it'll come back. It's just going to take some time, which I think it's been kind of it's been time. I think that, I mean, there's only so many people that have gotten sick. So it's like, they say this many people's died, but now they're trying to say the numbers have been fudged. And just saying this could get this pulled from your channel. But it's been kind of hoaxy. I mean, there's something there's some legitimacy to the virus. I get that, totally do.
Well, yeah, it's like a flu virus, I would think.
Uh-huh. Yeah. There's a lot of hoaxy, a lot of cloak and dagger weird stuff that are starting to come out though. And it's like kind of like, wow, they've been planning on this stuff and they've been financing this stuff. So it's kind of like you don't really know who to believe anymore.
Oh
And
yeah,
you're
here in Germany, let me tell you a story about that. Here in Germany, like a lot of politicians
uh-huh.
have been like crumbled up in that mask
Uh-huh.
scandal. Basically, they were earning money on the masks that were being sold.
Ah, see, and that's another thing is there's a lot of separate agendas behind this that you're just thinking, wow, are they actually doing this? So I mean, I think until
Yeah,
people kind of rise up and say, hey, enough's enough, I think it's just they're going to try to pull it next season, next winter, they'll try to pull it next fall.
yeah,
They're going
but
to try.
there will always be a flu, and statistically, only like 2% of the world population ever got the virus, and only 0.04% died.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And most of them were old, like really old people, over 80, 90 years old, and with previous illnesses.
Wow.
0.04.
Yeah. And that's kind of, that's what they were saying on the news here is that, you'd have a 99 point, whatever, 1.7 chance of surviving the virus.
Yeah.
They're opening it up here, but California, I heard they're still being real restrictive and stuff. So it's like they've opened up here. Now we don't have masks in the stores. We don't have to wear masks and stuff like that. Not that I
You're
really have
lucky.
to
Can
wear
I move
masks.
there?
I didn't even really. When I would see old people, I'd hold my mask up because I didn't want to. I didn't want an old person to feel, threatened in the store. But everywhere else I went, I was just like, it's me. It's like I never got sick. I don't get sick really. I take a lot of vitamins and I eat right, and I don't really get sick that often. So it's like once you stop drinking and doing drugs, alcohol is the biggest poison of anything. It's like when you kind of notice that, you're like, well, as long as you eat right and you're not knocking your immune system down, you're probably not going to get sick. You just kind of try to be as healthy as you can be.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, I ride like 12 kilometers, which is 7.5 miles to work every day, and then back after work.
Yeah, so you got a strong immune system because you're, doing all that. That's healthy.
Yeah, and in February I even walked to work once because it was snowing so much and it was like minus 15 degrees.
Wow,
And I didn't get any virus. I did have frozen feet though.
that's funny.
Yeah, because it was like really, really, really cold, much colder than it usually would ever get here.
Yeah,
I mean, the past 3 years we didn't even have snow, and you probably saw some of the snow pictures I sent to Kristen.
yeah, I think I did. You
Like
see it,
where the snow was like that high, like 30 centimeters.
and you walked in that stuff.
Yeah, I did, but only once. The following day, my brother took me to work because buses and stuff still weren't driving, and there's no chance to get through that by bike. But the Wednesday, well, still nothing was driving. My brother was already at work earlier, so he couldn't drive me. So I had to call in and say I take a vacation day.
You played hooky.
Well, I had to. I mean, I didn't want to walk through the snow for that long again.
Yeah, no frozen feet.
Yeah, considering that I clean for my customers and do that for like 4 to 6 hours a day. I didn't want to get there all wet and frozen and then also still having to work, and
Yeah,
it's not worth it. I said once, okay, it's an exception because nobody expected that kind of fit weather.
yeah. So it never really snows there, or is it just this season?
Exactly. It hasn't snowed for 3 years before that.
Wow. Huh.
It has snowed like only twice in total since we moved into this apartment, which was in like 2017.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it snows here almost every year, but it's I don't
Yeah,
know.
but what was funny was that was like one of the last times I've heard from Kenny. I sent him a message telling him about the snow here, and he said it was snowing there too, and they had like 12 inches of snow, and that they didn't have any vehicles to remove the snow
Oh, wow.
because he's in Louisiana, so
Oh yeah, wow, yeah. Yeah,
so I think they have more tornadoes than snow.
yeah. We have tornadoes around here, but it's been a few years since I've seen one.
Speaking of Puddle of Mud songs, does it make you sad that in some cases you weren't given any credit for your excellent contributions to some of the songs?
Oh, of course, I mean, I mean, I could go on stories on stories of stories, but I don't think as you get older, you can't really, I don't know, I can't really blame people, but it's like Schizophrenic Psycho, that song. We worked on that at my house here. We recorded it. I did a lot of producing. I did the like distorted vocals that are on the original thing and the whole production of it.
Maybe I'm the one, maybe I'm the one who is a schizophrenic psycho, yeah. Maybe I'm the one, maybe I'm the one who is a schizophrenic psycho. She laid down on the fresh lawn.
Wes had this idea with Schizophrenic Psycho, and I was like, hey, let's record it and expand on it. And then when I was back in the band, we worked on that song a lot. We recorded a demo of Go to Hell here. We recorded.
Yeah, I heard that.
Everybody dies, everyone smiles, and everyone cries. Look up in the heavens, look up in the sky. God is coming down to save your life. 'Cause everybody wants to go to heaven. Y'all are going to hell.
Piece of the Action. We recorded that. And the funny thing is that after this stuff comes out, I don't really hear it, and then all of a sudden I'll hear this stuff and I'll be like, wow, I wrote that part or I came up with that part. I'm older and wiser now, so that stuff wouldn't happen again. But, there was a lot of times that I think that I got taken advantage of, but I don't really blame Wes, or blame whoever is taking credit for something if I came up with it. Sometimes it irks me on certain things. I heard Paul Phillips taking credit for writing She Hates Me one time, and I'm like, I don't even know if he really knows that we were playing She Hates Me live in 1995. But he was taking credit for writing that song, and I wrote most of that song. It was very.
I have that old video that Sean posted where you and Wes and Kenny were doing that.
Yeah, and Paul Phillips was trying to take credit for writing it. Like he was saying I heard it on some podcast or something, and he was saying that the record company paid him to write the stupidest song that they could, and he came up with that.
I don't think he can write.
Yeah.
He's been rather mean because he claimed to be original Puddle of Mud. And I was like, no, Wes, Jimmy, Kenny, and Sean are original.
Yeah. And yeah. Does he not realize
that we were blocked?
Oh, no way. Yeah. Yeah, I think he doesn't really realize that there's a thing called the internet, that we were playing as Puddle of Mud. We were playing a lot of these songs as Puddle of Mud. Like even Blurry Electron Moon was, we were,
I heard that too.
One world away from all the stars in the system, always coming in clear.
Yeah. I thought Troy was gonna release some stuff, but I think
Yeah,
he
but
had.
he's lazy, I think, or working too much. Who knows?
Oh, yeah, he'll get it out there sometime. But yeah, he has those versions, you know. Uh,
Well, tell him
yeah,
to release it then. At least for me. Doesn't
yeah,
I don't care about anyone else.
yeah.
I want it for my collection.
Uh-huh.
Or
Yeah,
for my
that's
Mutt baby collection.
that's great. I love it.
They are cuddly.
That was like our first photo shoot too. I think Kenny's uncle or somebody Kenny's knew. He's the one that set that photo shoot. I was 19. I think Wes and I might have been. God, we might have been 20, maybe 20. We were super,
I think
super young in
during
that picture.
that I think you were 22 and Wes, and
Okay.
the others were like 26 or 27, I think.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. See, you know.
Or 27 and 28.
Yeah. Kenny and Sean were the elders in the band. Wes and I were the young pups, the mud puppies.
Yeah, all of you are my Mutt babies.
Wes and I should do a side project and call it the Mud Puppies and just sing about fish and cats.
and maybe little dogs like Wes's dog.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome.
Is it true that a tiny little cat saved your life and also likes to listen to you rock when you're in your recording studio?
Great question. Yeah, I mean, my cat, I've actually seen some people talking about Egyptian stuff, and they were saying that cats ward off evil. So it's like, I was on a path of self-destruction before, I lost my parents, and that was kind of traumatic to me. So my sisters got me this cat. And at first I didn't want the cat. I'm like, I don't want a cat. What are you talking about? I want to be and then it's like it's really kind of they keep people's spirits away. You should get one, Mags. You'd love it.
So tell us a funny story or a crazy fact that we don't know yet about Puddle of Mud.
You know everything. You're like you're like a little dictionary.
True.
You're like a dictionary. No, a crazy story. Okay, so I don't think I've ever told this one. You probably don't know about this one. Okay, so one time I was hanging out at the Sunset Marquis Hotel in LA in West Hollywood. I was staying there. I was back in Puddle of Mud. It was 2005, I think. And Wes was up in my room and we were working on songs. And he left and he was like, I'm going to go back to my house and hang out for a while. So he left my hotel room. We had acoustic guitars in there. We were just playing acoustic stuff. And he calls me back like 5 minutes later and he's like, Hey, I'm coming back up to your room with Pam and Courtney. And I'm like, who's Pam and Courtney? I thought, oh, he got a couple chicks. He's bringing chicks up to my room. And he brings in Courtney Love and Pamela Anderson into our hotel room, into my hotel room. They're drinking out of my mini bar. We're all drunk, and Courtney Love, she wants to sing a version of He Fucking Hates Me instead of She Fucking Hates Me. So me and Wes are playing it for her while she's singing, He Fucking Hates Me instead of She Fucking Hates Me. And I'm just like, Wes is crazy, man. He's a magnet for the crazies. So it's like he brings them into my room and it's like I thought it was the coolest thing ever. It's like Courtney Love and Pamela Anderson. I'm like, this is crazy. I'm playing a little show. Me and Wes are playing a little show. I think we did Blurry or something else too. I think I messed up Blurry. I think I was kind of like, whoa, I was kind of starstruck. And then in the morning I got charged like $1,200 for my mini bar because they were drinking all the wine out of there and everything. I'm like, man, uncool. But yeah, that's a good Puddle of Mud story. But there's a bunch of them. You could write a book on some of that stuff. But it's
Well, you should.
that's a good one that I don't think I've told that one. I might have told it to some friends, but
Yeah, I've never heard it before, and I listened to every interview I could find of you and Wes and everyone.
yeah, see, there you go. I pulled it out. I pulled pulled out a one-hit wonder right there.
Well, yeah, that sounded like a rather special occasion.
Yeah, so we were playing an acoustic. You know, Courtney loves screaming like she does in Hole. It's like, ah, she fucking hates me.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So I have one more question.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, what is your advice for people that are just starting out in music? Is there anything they should take care about when they are starting in the business?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, I would just make sure like that when you get in a band situation, kind of that if you're working with other guys, just to make sure that you all are in the understanding that who wrote what, who came up with this or who did this, kind of have some sort of agreement before you have somebody like a label or a manager kind of come your way, you know, kind of have somebody have some sort of I mean, it would be best if it was a written agreement, but it was some sort of agreement between each band member or something like, hey, you know, if I'm bringing this to the table, then, you know, instead of letting it happen when a label gets involved or a manager gets involved and kind of maybe kind of ruins the relationship, you know, of friends or band members. That's, you know, that's probably the best advice I could give, you know, other than practice your ass off. You know, other than practice your ass off, I can say, hey, as a band or an artist, you need to kind of have some sort of deal between you guys as a band that is, you know, doesn't come out later when everybody gets mad and hates each other because so and so did what.
Yeah. As a fan, I prefer it also when it's exactly known who wrote what and that it is also mentioned in the CD inlay so I can find out.
Yeah, and even that's gone away. Some of the people don't spend as much time on the packaging and stuff anymore. It's kind of you know, it's kind of a lost art.